You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties.
Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think? What was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. People like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately: Sean Carter.
They let Jaguar Wright on Piers Morgan? It's over.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
This year, this week, has just continues to get crazier and crazier. They let Jaguar Wright, the most consistent, the most vocal, one of the most credible, depending on who you're talking to, individuals that's been speaking out not just about P. Diddy and all the things that he's guilty of or been accused of, but a lot of other people in the industry, like Jay-Z, like R. Kelly, like Harvey Weinstein. This woman has been saying stuff about these folks for years on a lot of huge platforms. Until now. She just went on to Piers Morgan, one of the biggest YouTube channels on YouTube, especially when it comes to like social commentary. I'm not going to say it doesn't get much bigger than Piers Morgan. There are other big YouTube channels out there. But this man got literally international reach on his platform. He just got, first and foremost, respect to Piers Morgan for having this woman on his show. This is groundbreaking. Before we delve into the interview, let me say thank you to all of you that watched, liked, shared, supported. The video is now sitting at 700,000 views, man. On truth, standing on truth. God bless you all. Hopefully Hollywood, Hollyweird, the evil people in this world, hopefully we're witnessing the fall of it all. We don't know. We don't even know if this is orchestrated. But for many of you, as you know already, I interviewed this guy by the name Jonathan Hay, a music industry publicist, who came out and said a lot of things about a lot of celebrities, including Diddy, but a lot of people who have never been arrested, which is part of the reason the video went so viral. You should check it out if you have not checked it out as of yet. But Jaguar Wright, who Jonathan Hay interviewed with just moments, like I think 3 or 4 days before he came onto my show. He literally interviewed with her. And now she's on Piers Morgan. This is groundbreaking, bro. Prayers go out. Healing, wishing healing for all the victims on the back end of this. Everything that she talked about in this interview is incredible. Before we get into the interview, if you're new to the channel, man, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you do not mind. They do not notify people when my videos drop. We are about truth over here on DDGotAPodcast. Man, let's check out this interview.
Jaguar, I'm going to start with you. You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally. The victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think, what was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you.
So
you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right. There's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think...
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging, putting girls in the suitcases, dumping them in alleyways. It's horrifying. And it's all done under the protection of this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
It seems to have been something that a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too scared to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well. The whole point of this, like Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making Diddies. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further, the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically, and Clive Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Look, Clive Davis is not here to respond to that, nor is Jay-Z. But a lot of people, famous people in the music industry, have been notable, like I say, by their silence so far. It's also been notable that since the Me Too campaign began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Since Me Too began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same kind of scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
guess they on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. for decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Porter?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Jaguar, I've got to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me.
Do you all not understand how groundbreaking this is? This woman is on one of the biggest platforms on YouTube saying things like Jay-Z is also a monster. Saying things like Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, P. Diddy, all these evil people in the industry, all Jeffrey Epstein, all have one person in common. And she said Sean Carter. She's saying this on this platform, bro. And it's just like Vlad to come out and say that this woman is known to be a conspiracy theorist. What does that word mean? It holds no weight anymore, bro. A lot of the things that people have been calling conspiracy theories have been coming true and been proven to be true over the past 3 to 4 years. It's weird, all the things that seem to have been triggered or ignited once COVID hit. All of a sudden, all these truths are coming out, bro. This is just groundbreaking, bro. We living in some times that is spiritual, bro. This is spiritual. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than what these folks are willing to tell us, man. And it's a woman, of all things. Like, it's a black woman that coming out unapologetically saying what's true. Because this is what y'all got to realize. Even if what she's saying is all lies, right? All conspiracy theories, you can't prove them, and yeah. This is still a credible woman with ties, incredible ties, and proven ties to the industry, coming out on camera on large platforms consistently, unapologetically, over and over, saying these things about the people in the industry, saying how it ties to the politicians, how it ties is much bigger than Diddy. It's much bigger than Jay-Z. It was before them. It's going to continue after them. It speaks to how our world is ran, bro. Why these people are selected. It's not because they have great ears for music. It's not because they just so happen to be talented and they're pushed and they got signed to a record label or record deal. These people are groomed themselves. They're selected. And then they have ties. You ever wonder why people like Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and all these other people who literally rap about drug dealing, not about what they used to do and what they used to know and what they come from, they glorify it and celebrate it now. Fornication, drug use, drug distribution, all these worldly things that destroys families and communities. How is it that these same people, Barack Obama, celebrate? How is it that these same people are tied to the most people that's supposed to care the most about us in this world. They're supposed to look out for the people at large. How y'all cool with them? Don't y'all listen to their music? Just because they're able to make it sound good, listen to what they're talking about. Nothing about what they're talking about. If you would have put what they were talking about in policies, this world will crumble. Because they all talk about demonic, satanic, terrible, detrimental things. But y'all celebrate these people, bro. Have y'all seen this interview? I'm really at a loss of words, man. Hop in the comment section. Give me your thoughts, man. This is groundbreaking. God be with us all, man.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.